girls, welcome to Emergency Management Associates. We're just waiting for YouTube to catch us, and I think YouTube is going to catch us very shortly here. I hope they do. It's amazing. I have to wait for YouTube to do this every day. This is getting ridiculous. That's live, I guess. Guys, it's Wednesday, July 17th, 2024. My name's Ron Tyler. My name's Ron Tyler. My name's Ron Tyler. My name's Ron Tyler. My name's Ron. Okay, I just turned off my sound here so it's not going to echo. My name's Ron Tyler. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kittiawak Beach, North Carolina. Welcome, guys. We appreciate you all here. Demon Catman from the east of England. Richard Smith beat him just by a second. Tammy Steffi's here. You guys are all here. Thank you all for being here. Heather's here. Thank you very much, guys. We appreciate it. I'm just going to wait for another minute or two to go through here to make sure we have people in here so I don't have to repeat myself. Heather Hankson Hill is here. Tammy Steffi. Kanita Warrior is here. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate you all. I'm going to ask you a question now. Rob52 is here. Thanks, Rob, for being here. I wanted to ask you all a question. In regards to information I gave you last night, do you guys have any questions for me in regards to the event that happened Saturday evening? You guys have any questions? Arnold Schmidt is here. He is 8 is his check-in number. Welcome, Arnold. Does anybody have any questions for me about anything we talked about last night? I'm willing to answer any questions ahead of time. Adventuring Mike is here. Thank you very much, Mike. Appreciate you so much. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I guess nobody has any questions about anything we had last night. Tammy Stephanie says she can't bring me up on her phone. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I guess that's the way stupid things go anymore. I can't trust our phones here. I can't trust much of anything when it comes to electronics. I'm hopefully going to get that fixed later this weekend. I hope my electronics will get fixed later this weekend anyway. Kathy Payen is here. Thank you very much, Kathy. Appreciate you. Songstress Griffin is here. Sweet Polly Purebred is here. Welcome, guys. Appreciate you. Okay, in regards to what I talked about last night, there is nothing new that the Secret Service, there's nothing new that the Secret Service has put out in regards to the event over in Pennsylvania Saturday evening. I don't expect this to change. There you go, Tammy. You got your wrench by your name now. Thank you. I hope you do anyway. But anyway, the Secret Service has nothing new to say. The Homeland Security has nothing new to say. The FBI has nothing new to say. However, I'm going to make another statement. I truly believe that the Secret Service failed on trying to protect President Trump. Again, part of it was the Homeland Security Department, which oversees all the other federal law enforcement agencies. Homeland Security was asked many times by President Trump's team to add Secret Service to his protection detail, and they've refused. They've added more people now after the incident on Saturday, and because of the Republican National Convention, but I don't expect it to continue. I expect that President Trump may have another event happen before November 5th. I believe there will be another threat on his life between now and November 5th. I don't trust the Democrats. I don't trust the Biden administration. I believe the Biden administration was behind what happened Saturday night. Okay? Now, I keep asking the question, and I've asked many of my law enforcement friends around the country, and they agree with me. Okay? How did the young man get to that top of the building? How did he get there without being noticed? People saw him. People reported him to the police. The police did not do much of anything. The police were supposed to secure all those outer buildings, and I believe they dropped the ball. The police were supposed to secure the outer perimeter, and they dropped the ball. Okay? That man climbed up that ladder, gained access to the roof. Then, when the truth got out, all of a sudden, Secret Service starts backpedaling. They didn't have enough people. They said that they should have had more snipers. They got police snipers on the roof over behind President Trump. The police sniper that was on that roof took out the suspect. He took out that suspect. I still believe something's still wrong. Okay? The whole place should have been better secured. In the past, his rallies have been very secure. I still believe there's something else going on. And as we go forward, I'm going to be talking more and more about this. Okay? Anyway, that's what I wanted to answer any questions about from last night. Some of you had some questions and we answered them, but I wanted to make sure we took care of everything else tonight. The Republican National Convention continues, and tonight Senator J.D. Vance, who is President Trump's choice for vice president, is going to be talking to the country. He's going to introduce himself. He's going to talk about his personal life and how he got to where he is today. J.D. Vance's wife is going to introduce him. She's also going to talk about her life, where she came from, and how they got married and got together, and what they've been doing ever since, and her support of her husband. So that's what's going to happen tonight at the convention. Now, is something going to happen at the convention? I don't think so. At least I hope not. Okay, Sammy Presswood says Trump may get his own security team after this. I believe that's true. Okay, I believe President Trump will pay other people to protect him. Because again, the Secret Service is under the control of Homeland Security, and the FBI is not much better. The FBI, you can't trust. You can't trust. The only people I told you that I trusted with the Secret Service was his own detail that was there to protect him. His own protection detail did a good job. Okay? After the round went off where he got shot, all of a sudden his detail converged over the top of him to protect him. The main goal was to protect the protectee, meaning President Trump. The outer crowd was a secondary goal. The secondary goal did not get much attention, as 2 people were injured and 1 person was killed. The snipers on the roof took out the shooter. But again, I do not trust the Secret Service and who they said the shooter was. Okay, I believe that remains up in the air. Okay? Someone said I look like Ted Cruz. Oh, no, I don't. If you want to put a chat here in our chat, you must be talking about what we're talking about, guys. Okay? Please understand that. I want you to understand what we're doing here and why we're here. I want everybody to be talking about what we're talking about. Okay. Since nobody has any further questions about what happened Saturday and any repercussions after that, like I said, I still believe there's going to be another attack at some point in time. I just hope that he's getting adequate protection. Adventuring might just give us another $5 super chat. Good evening, and God bless all. If you need any tech help, please let me know, Sir Ron. I can help walk you through troubleshooting issues that you may have. I'll take you up on that. Thanks, Mike. I will take you up on that. I'm giving you an EMA sticker on your super chat. Thanks so much. Appreciate that. God bless you for that, Mike. I appreciate you so much. Anyway, going on. I want to talk about earthquakes. Okay? I want to talk specifically about earthquakes first around the world. We have no pending earthquakes at all to talk about. Okay? Yes, we've had earthquakes around the world, but they've all been less than 5.0. They've all been less than 5.0. Yes, there was one earthquake earlier today, this morning, that was a 5.2, and USGS blew it out and made it 4.7, which is normal. That's what they do. That's exactly what they do. They have no common sense and don't have any propriety for what exactly happens. Heaven forbid something happens, they don't want to tell anybody about it. Anyway, let's go on. There have been some earthquakes in Southern California. And yes, I mentioned that in the chat, in the title of our program tonight. Rob52 is talking about 3.5 over in Borrego Springs. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes as well. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate you. But folks, this is serious. This is real serious. I want everybody to know what's happening more than anything. Why? Because, folks, your life depends on knowing what's happening. Nobody's going to tell you. No one else is going to tell you but me on this program. There's a few other organizations or YouTube creators on YouTube that talk about earthquakes, but nobody goes into a lot of detail like we do here on Emergency Management Associates. Before I get into this, folks, I want to tell those people that are sick and afflicted, we are praying for you. Rebecca NCWQ has had some health issues today, and as a result, I don't think she's going to be here tonight. There's been other people as well. We want to acknowledge them and tell you that we are praying for you. We're praying for you, and God will heal you. Okay? I know that. Anyway, let's talk about earthquakes in Southern California. There's a lot of them. There's a ton of them. Let me turn this camera around. I can show you what happened today. I'm going to show you what happened. Okay, first, I want to go out to the desert areas. Okay? Let's go take a look at Bakersfield. Good old Bakersfield, California. I spent a lot of time out there because I had friends out there, and I've only felt a couple minor, small earthquakes. 3-pointers, okay? 3.0, 3.9 are considered to be small earthquakes. Here in Bakersfield, we did not have any 3s at all. Over here on the right-hand side, up at the top, right here, this appears to be a 2.0 minor quake here. Over on the left-hand side here is 5 p.m. yesterday evening. It's going by military time here on the left. 1800 is 6 p.m., so this top line here will be 5 p.m. 5 p.m. here. Over on this side, it would be 5:14 p.m. So just after 5:14 p.m. yesterday evening, we had a 2.0 here. All the rest of the events here are all tremors, except for this here. I forgot to tell you about this. This is at 7:15 p.m. last night. This is again a 2.0 earthquake. All the rest of these events here are all tremors. 2.0 here and a 2.0 here. All the rest of this is just tremors. For example, this is a 1.7, 1.6, 1.7 tremor here. The same thing here. And this is a 1.4 tremor here. But all this is tremors here. All that's tremors. Bakersfield, California, guys. Bakersfield, California. Okay, let's go out to Rancho Mirage. Good old Rancho Mirage, out in the desert. This is also where the San Andreas Fault is, as well as out in Bakersfield. That is on the San Andreas Fault as well. This is Rancho Mirage. Look what we've been having here. These are upper grade tremors here. Long duration tremors here. You're seeing long duration tremors here. This tremor here started way out here this yesterday evening. This is out at approximately 5:08 p.m. yesterday evening. And the tremors continue right over here. Long duration tremors. That's what we're seeing here in Rancho Mirage. Again, this is a San Andreas Fault. We are expecting a very large earthquake to be here at the San Andreas Fault in Southern California. A very large earthquake. I'm expecting to see anywhere from a 5.7 to a 7.0 earthquake on the San Andreas Fault in Southern California. That's one of the reasons we're talking about this tonight. Okay? I've been expecting it for quite some time, and I still believe it will probably happen this summer. That's why we're here. The next place I want to go is over to Hemet, California. San Jacinto campus, the San Jacinto College campus. This is a community college. This is nothing more than a community college, the San Jacinto campus in Hemet, California. All the events here are all tremors as well. Small, minor tremors. Long duration tremors you're seeing here, and some of them, but most of these are just minor tremors here and there all over the place. Okay? Usually we also have some earthquakes here at San Jacinto campus, but that's not the case today. The next place I want to go out to is Victorville. Victorville. Isaiah's granny lives out here in Victorville, and that's one of the reasons I cover it. But Victorville is also on the San Jacinto, or not San Jacinto, on the San Andreas Fault. Again, these are mostly tremors, except for two variations with that. Right here. Okay? Again, the top of this seismogram is showing 5 p.m. all the way down to almost 5 a.m. this morning. Okay? Right over here. This is 6:12 p.m. last night. This is a 2.3 earthquake. This is the minor 2.3 earthquake. This is a 2.5 earthquake here. This is after 2:20 a.m. this morning. 2.2, 2.3 earthquake here. 2.0, 2.2 earthquake here. 2.2, 2.3 here. Minor earthquakes. All these are all tremors. This may also be a 2.3, 2.4 earthquake, but we don't have any confirmation data on this. I tried to research this, but I found nothing to confirm it. But all the rest of these are all tremors here. Victorville, California, also on the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault is a strike-slip fault, and we further expect it to happen. Scientists have been talking about it for quite some time now. We expect it to happen this summer, okay? Before probably August, before the end of August, okay? Now, while we're out here, out in the desert area, I want to go over to the San Bernardino Mountains. I want to talk about Cabazon. Cabazon is in the Anza-Borrego Desert area. It's the northern area of the Anza-Borrego Desert. This is the Anza Gap, Cabazon. This is at the surface level of the desert. in the San Bernardino Mountains. Look at this. Okay? Look at this. Tremors building up to a good earthquake. This is a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake here. There's 2.0 earthquakes here. Okay? But most of this is all tremor activity. It's almost all tremor activity. All of this is all tremor activity as well. But look what happened here. This area around the San Bernardino Mountains got kicked around. Big time kicked around. We're talking about the San Andreas Fault again. We're talking about the San Andreas Fault again. This is very much worrisome. Look what happened here. First we get it here, and then we get nailed here. This appears to be a 3.0, 3.5 earthquake here. All this here. 3.5, maybe even a little bit larger than that. This is small earthquakes on the San Andreas Fault. This is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what we're talking about here. Okay? Isn't that unreal? We've been seeing some of this before, but nothing this large here, and nothing this large in the Anza-Borrego area. Okay? This is Cabazon. This is in what they call the Anza Gap, northern part of the Anza-Borrego Desert area. Okay? I wanted to show you that. That's important. This shows the desert area, and it's kicking up. It's kicking up. I think it's going to continue to kick up. Okay? Now, I want to go over now and take a look at the Los Angeles area. I want to start down on the southern side of LA over in Laguna Beach. I want to show you Laguna Beach here. Look at this, guys. Look at all this tremor activity. Starting over here at 5 p.m. yesterday. Look at all this. Heavy duty tremor activity. 1.2, 1.3 tremors all over this seismograph. Laguna Beach was kicked around as well. This is the coastline south of Los Angeles. Crazy, huh? Unreal. Unreal. Now, with that said, I want to show you another coastline. This is the Channel Islands, just off the coast of LA. Channel Island. Look at this. Here is a 2.3, 2.4 earthquake. This is a 2.2 earthquake. This is a 2.2 earthquake. This is a 2.2, 2.3 earthquake. We have a bunch of tremors here, don't we? But we're also getting kicked around, and we're seeing minor earthquakes happen out here on Channel Island, just off the coast of Los Angeles. This is over on the northern part of the undersea part of the Newport-Inglewood Fault. The Newport-Inglewood Fault. Okay? Did we expect that to happen? No. But in the past, I want to say 2 months, we've seen more and more activity get kicked up out here in the ocean, just off the coast of Los Angeles. We've seen more and more activity here. It seems to be growing here. Okay? Now, I want now to go out to the east side, northeast side of Los Angeles. I want to go out to Chino. Chino is not normally referred to as part of Los Angeles. However, the Caltech people lump it into the Los Angeles area. Chino, look what we have here. We've always seen tremors here. We've always seen tremors, and sometimes there's more tremors than we have now. However, we're also starting to see some 2.2, 2.3, 2.4 earthquakes, such as this here. Yesterday evening, 5:09 p.m. yesterday evening, a 2.3 earthquake here. This appears to be a 2.2 earthquake. And this whole area here in Chino all day long and all night long is tremors. Tremors. Okay? It's busy. It's very, very busy. Okay? Now, I want to go south. This time I'm dropping down to Fontana, California. Fontana, California. Now we're going to see some earthquakes here. We're going to see some earthquakes. Look at this. Fontana has been having earthquakes. It started off with tremors for a very long time. Several years of nothing but tremors here in Fontana. But look what we're getting here. This is a 2.3, 2.4 earthquake here. This is a 2.4 earthquake here. 2.4 earthquake here. All throughout this seismogram, you're seeing larger and larger earthquakes. This is a 3.0 earthquake right here. 5:32 p.m. last night, Fontana had a 3.0 earthquake right here. They've been having a lot of them. A lot of them. Here's another 3.0 earthquake here. There's this activity right here. This is after, here is 9 p.m. On this green line is 9:45. We come over here to about 9:55 p.m. last night. This is serious. Look at all this activity here. This could also be reaching 2.5, 2.8, 3-point activity right here. Okay? Now, we drop down here. This is after 1 a.m. last night, early this morning. 1:05 a.m. this morning, 2.9 earthquake. 2.4 earthquake here. We drop down here on this black line. This is 4:04 a.m. this morning. This is a 3.3, 3.4 earthquake right here. 3.3, 3.4 earthquake here. Again, right here as well. 3.3, 3.4 earthquake here. Fontana, California. JNUSMC is asking, does it show depth? No, it does not. It does not. I believe all these earthquakes and all this activity is originating probably about 6 miles deep, 10 kilometers deep. This is all shallow activity here. All the activity we're seeing here is shallow activity. Okay? Fontana is getting hit. Fontana every day is getting hit. It's just like this every day, sometimes more activity than not. Okay? It does not get any less than this. It hasn't gotten any less than this for quite some time. Okay? This is also part of the San Andreas Fault. Fontana lies on an ancillary fault just west of the San Andreas. But the San Andreas, I believe, is causing all this activity. Okay? I have reason to believe the San Andreas is kicking that up. There's also something else out there I want to show you. I want to show you Loma Linda. Okay? And Mira Loma. Mira Loma is just south of and west of Loma Linda. They don't have a seismograph at Loma Linda. However, this is the closest we can come, just south and west of Loma Linda. This is all tremor activity here. This is all tremor activity. But in the past weeks, we've had 3.0 earthquakes hitting here in Mira Loma and Loma Linda area. But today, this is all tremor activity here. Okay? That was a good question on how deep these earthquakes were. It's important we understand. We have to understand. Now, I want to go over to just northwest of Los Angeles. This is the oil and gas pumping area just north and west of LA. This one is called the Baldwin Hills. The Baldwin Hills. This area is steeped in earthquakes. This is steeped in earthquakes, guys. We've been having earthquakes here for a very long time. Okay? The Baldwin Hills is an oil and gas pumping operation. It used to be a forested area before the 1940s. About 1942, they began bulldozing the hills here, knocking down the trees and bulldozing these hills to flat plains. Then they began installing pumps and jacks all over the hills here. That's what we're seeing here. Tremors here. These are not oil and gas tremors though. This is an oil and gas area, but these are seismic signals. These are seismic signals. In the past, it has not been so heavy as it seems right now. There's hardly any white here. There's hardly any white anywhere on this seismograph. In the past months and years that we've been talking about the Baldwin Hills, there's always been more white here between the lines. These are heavy-duty tremors. Heavy-duty tremors. We're seeing 1.3, 1.4, and 1.5, 1.6 tremors here. For example, right up here. This is a 1.5, 1.6 tremor. These are 1.4, 1.5s here. Okay? But you see how close these lines are together. If the lines become merged and there's no white showing beneath it, that means the seismic energy is up the ante. Up the ante. More and more seismic energy and larger seismic energy hitting the area. That's what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing. This is important to realize what's happening. Again, Los Angeles is getting nailed. Los Angeles is getting nailed. When we see this kind of activity at Baldwin Hills, we know for a fact that Los Angeles is increasing in seismicity. Los Angeles is increasing. Cathay Paine says tremors. Absolutely, they are tremors. Okay? Now, I want to continue up here north of Los Angeles. I want to show you a seismogram coming from Del Amo, California. Right here. Again, we're seeing tremors. Look at this. There's hardly any white showing here. The tremors have actually taken over. There's so many tremors here going on, it's hard to see between the lines here. The lines emerged here. From black to red to blue to green to black again. Top of the hour, 15 minutes to the hour here, 30 minutes on the blue line here, and on the green line, this is 45 minutes after the hour. Then it starts over again at the top of the next hour. But you can see what I'm talking about here. Now, the seismicity, the number of tremors and seismic data had lessened after 11 p.m. last night. The number of tremors and the strength of these tremors seems to have lessened during the nighttime hours. Okay? You can start seeing white lines here. Right here you see a gap here. They turned off the seismograph. They turned off the seismograph here. It was only turned off for about a minute, but they turned off the seismograph. Why did they do it? Who knows? Who knows? Guess what? The amount of earthquakes and seismic data increased down here. Okay? Over here on the left-hand side on the black is 4 a.m. Right down here is 4:45 here. So we come over here. Now we are at 4:50 a.m. this morning. This is a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake here. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake there. This appears to be a 1.5 tremor, and over here we have another 2.6, 2.7 earthquake here. So after 4 a.m., things started increasing again. The number of earthquakes and tremors and the size of them. We need to pay attention to this. The number of earthquakes and the size of the earthquakes increased. Okay? That's what's happening here. Del Amo, California. And it's not the only place. I'll show you more here in a second. I'm going to show you Ellis, California. Ellis, California, for the first time in weeks, has lessened. The size of the tremors here is lessened. However, we still have a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake right here. A 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here just after 23:01 p.m. last night. 11:01 p.m. last night. Over here, we have a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here as well. Okay? But all this is just tremors. Again, we have a gap here because they turned off the seismograph just after 12, I want to say 12:09 a.m. this morning. There's a minute gap right there. Okay? Ellis, California. Okay? There's a lot more. There's a lot more. I want to go over to Moore Park. This is also well, it's not just a housing area, but it's a suburb of LA called Moore Park. Yes, there are businesses here, but there's also a lot of homes here in Moore Park. Guess what? Guess what happened last night? This seismic event was topped off and bottomed off here. This is a 3.5, 4.0 earthquake here in Moore Park last night. 3.5 to 4.0 earthquake here last night. Okay? This is significant. This is very significant. This happened just after 6, I want to say 6, what would it be? 6:29? Yeah, 6:29 last night. Okay? A 3.5, 4.0 earthquake. Isn't that wild? Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk? We see this happen occasionally. But this is important. This is a suburb of LA just north of Los Angeles. Now, we see other earthquakes here as well. This is a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. This appears to be a 2.6 earthquake here. This is a 2.4, 2.5 earthquake. Right up here. Okay? It's on the red line. The red line here is 5:15. We come over here to 5:20 p.m. right here. This is a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. How about here? This is a 3.0 earthquake here. This is 8:30 p.m. 8:30 p.m. A 3.0 small quake here. This up here is almost a moderate. If it's not a moderate earthquake, it's nearly a moderate earthquake. I believe it's a 3.8, 4.0 earthquake right here. It's happening. Do we hear anything from USBS about it? Not at all. It's not on their maps. It shows nothing on the maps at all. The only way you're going to find it is bring up the seismograms showing you the data. You have to go searching for the data to be able to find this information. You have to go searching for the data because they're not going to show it to us. They don't do it. They don't want to show us anything going on. And folks, Moore Park is just north of Los Angeles. It's nowhere near the San Andreas Fault. I believe this has to do with more than that. This, I believe, is the Newport Inglewood Fault. I believe this is the Newport Inglewood Fault. There are faults all over the Los Angeles area. Literally. Okay? It's insane. It's insane. And we keep seeing more and more of this. We see tremors all over this area here. But we're seeing 3.5, 4.0 activity, 3.0 activity, and 2.8, 2.9 earthquake activity all over this. Last night. After 9 p.m. it calmed down. We see some 2.0 minor earthquake here. That's about as big as we get until we get here. I believe this is a 2.2, 2.3 earthquake early this morning. This is 4:50 p.m. here. Or 4:50 a.m. here, I'm sorry. Okay? It's moving. It's moving. We have to see this to understand it. We have to look at it seriously. Now I want to go over and show you Pardee. Pardee is over near Moore Park, just north of the downtown area of LA. This is a suburb of LA. Again, 2.2, 2.3 earthquake. 2.2, 2.3 earthquake. 2.2, 2.3 earthquake. This is after 4:30 a.m. this morning. 4:39 a.m. we have a 2.2, 2.3 earthquake here. Yes, we're seeing tons of tremors here. But we're also seeing minor earthquakes. Minor earthquakes aren't going to be felt. But that 3.8, 4.0 earthquake in Moore Park last night was felt. And yet the USGS said, oh, there was nothing like that. They didn't put it on their map. They didn't even bother showing it on their map. Sad. Sad. Now, I want to go over to the north coast, north of Los Angeles. Playa del Rey and Marina del Rey area. Okay? Yes, we've seen a lot of tremors here in Playa del Rey, Marina del Rey area. This is north of Los Angeles, up along the coastline. The people that live in this area are very affluent. They have a lot of money. The marinas just outside, on the water, just outside Playa del Rey and Marina del Rey, have a lot of yachts. Good-sized boats. Okay? They're getting hit with tremor activity. It's constant and consistent tremor activity. Yes, we're seeing 2.3, 2.4, or not 1.3, 1.4 tremors here. All over the place. But they're getting bigger, larger, and they're more consistent here. Again, we're seeing white between these lines. If the lines merge, that means the seismicity is increased, and we're going to see what happens in the days to come. This may merge here. It did just about 4 weeks ago. It happened 4 weeks ago where there was almost no white at all between these lines. Steve Song says that we had an earthquake in Kenya yesterday. I didn't catch that one. I don't think USGS told us about that one. Thanks for that, Steve. I appreciate it. But that was Playa del Rey, Marina del Rey, just north of Los Angeles. Let's go up to Ronald. This is also a suburb of LA, north of Los Angeles. This is just tremor activity. All this is just tremor activity. Tremor activity here, this is 1.4, 1.5 tremor here. This is a 1.4, 1.5 tremor here. This is a 1.6, 1.7 tremor. But all this is just minor tremor activity. That's all we had in Ronald. But that doesn't hold true with some of the other communities here. For example, Rio Hondo. Let's go take a look at Rio Hondo. Look at this. Yes, this is not as bad as Ronald. The lines are not as close together. These are just tremors here. This is just tremors here in Rio Hondo. Okay? Now, I'm going further north to Santa Monica. Going to Santa Monica. There is a municipal airport in Santa Monica called Santa Monica Field. That is where this seismograph is located. The seismogram here is just showing minor tremors again. Nothing big at all. But notice this. Again, after 12:15 this morning, all of a sudden they shut off the seismograph. Again. Same location, same time. They shut off the seismograph on 3 different occasions here in Los Angeles last night. But it's just tremors. Why are they shutting off the seismographs? Inquiring minds want to know. Now, what I'm going to show you now is important. It's very, very important. Okay? I want to show you what's going on again near the coastline. The first place I'm going to show you is a place called Light Hype. Light Hype. Light Hype has been busy. Light Hype is over in Long Beach. Light Hype has been very busy as of the last year. We used to just see tremors here in Light Hype in Long Beach. But guess what? That's changed. This is a 3.0 earthquake here. A 3.0 earthquake here, and this is a 2.9 3.0 earthquake here. 3 of them right after 5 p.m. last night. This is 5:04. This is 5:07. This is 5:12 p.m. yesterday. We almost don't see any white of paper here. Yes, this is a digital seismogram. Normally, if we were using a barrel roller seismogram or seismograph, it would be on paper. This is digital though. We still have earthquakes here. We still see some earthquakes here. You can barely make them out because the lines merge with each other. This is busy. This is just not tremors here. These are earthquakes. 2.0, 2.5 earthquakes. And they're back to back to back here in Long Beach. We see further activity here. This is 4:45 a.m. this morning. Yes, we have some tremor activity, but we're also seeing over here a 3.0 earthquake originating after 4:33 this morning. 3.0 earthquake right here. Over here, this is another 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here. Long Beach is very busy. We're getting hit with seismic activity here in Long Beach. We've been getting hit for a very long time now. Every day. This happens every day here. Long Beach, California. Now, I want to take you over to Anaheim. I'm going to show you a seismogram located on State Street. This is near Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm in Los Angeles. This is serious stuff. Look what's happening here. About 2 months ago, Disneyland had to close down one evening early because we were having 3.5 and 4.5 earthquakes in Disneyland. Knott's Berry Farm and Disneyland both shut down all of their activities. They closed the parks because there was so much seismic activity. This here is last night, 5 p.m. Right here. See this line going up here? 3.0 earthquake. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake here. We can see like earthquakes all over the seismogram. Right here. This is a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. 3.0 earthquake here. This is after 2:04 a.m. this morning. 3.0 earthquake here. Right here. Just after 3:03 a.m. here. 3.0 earthquake here. 3:06 a.m. here. A 3.0 earthquake here. And this is 3:09 a.m. here. 3.0 earthquake. And actually, there's a couple of them here. Two primary earthquakes here, 3.0 earthquakes. Anaheim, California. Anaheim, California. It's busy. This is busy, guys. This is very busy. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think of this Los Angeles? What do you think about LA now? What do you think LA is going to be doing here? Do you guys have any clue what's happening here in Los Angeles? Do you have a good idea here? It's unreal, guys. Los Angeles is moving. Los Angeles is moving. Have I made it clear here? Los Angeles is moving. Mike, thanks for being here. We appreciate it. Mike says he has to be up at 4 a.m. for an early shift. God bless you. God bless you. May God protect you tonight while you sleep and also when you work in the morning. Thank you for being here, Mike. We appreciate you. This is unreal, guys. Los Angeles is moving. It's moving in a great way. Okay? It's moving in a big way. Now, that's not the only place. It's not the only place. Let's go out to the downtown area. Not necessarily right smack dab in Los Angeles downtown, but over at the University of Southern California, Los Angeles. Look at this. Nothing but tremors. But we are seeing more and more tremors than we've ever seen here at the University of Southern California. This is an increase in tremor activity. Okay? This is an increase in tremor activity here at the University of Southern California, LA. It's moving. Let's go out east, eastern LA area. Let's go over to Walnut La Puente. We always see a lot of activity. We always see a lot of activity. Why? Because this is a volcanic caldera. They built these cities on top of a volcano. They built these cities on top of a volcano. What happened right here? This is 5 p.m. over here. Right here. This is 5:08 p.m. last night. 3.5, 4.0 earthquake. But the fact of the matter is this. From 5:08 to 5:13 p.m., 5 minutes, they had 3.5, 4.0 earthquakes hitting for 5 minutes. People became a little agitated, don't you think? The world was shaking for 5 minutes. Shaking for 5 minutes, guys. Do you think people should be concerned? All Black T says he's homeless. August 1st. Be safe out there. Be safe out there in Washington State. That's no fun. Anyway, guys, this is Los Angeles. These towns of Walnut La Puente area are built on the top of a volcano. That is why we're seeing so much activity. Look at this activity here. Top and the bottom was cut off here. Top and the bottom cut off here, 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 all over this seismogram. They don't want us to know what's going on. They don't want us to know what's going on. Trevor, you have to put all your comments in English, not another language. Put your comments in English, not another language. That's why your chat was taken off. What do you think, guys? Do you think the people here in this area should be concerned? Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Richard Smith is one of my mods here in this chat, and he just saw a 2.8 earthquake, a minor 2.8 earthquake in Southern California. It's happening. It's happening. This should be very concerning to everybody here. At some point in time, this caldera is going to blow. We may see a volcanic eruption very soon in this area. USGS has said nothing about it. I've seen no concerns anywhere saying that this volcano could blow. But seeing this much activity, you know what's happening. The magma from down beneath here is pounding on that huge volcanic rock of the caldera. The caldera floor is a huge volcanic rock. After it last erupted thousands of years ago, it hardened. And it hardened and turned into a city that they built here. At that point in time when they built these cities, nothing was going on. But now the seismic activity is returned. The magma is returned to these volcanoes all over the world. These volcanoes are recharging. That is why we're seeing this here. Controversial contrarian says, when do we have a range of dates that we can look for? No, I don't know. I don't know. But when we're seeing this much activity, we know it's going to be soon. The activity is ramping up. This seismic activity, these earthquakes are ramping up. They're getting larger and they're taking more time. This one's 5 minutes of earthquake activity. 5 minutes of shaking. Moderate earthquakes cause moderate damage. Moderate earthquakes can cause photos and pictures to fall off walls. Moderate earthquakes can cause damage to foundations. Moderate earthquakes can cause damage to foundations. Moderate earthquakes can break water mains. They can break gas mains. Moderate earthquakes can break windows all over the city. Now, I did some checking. I don't believe we had anybody that reported any damage as a result of this seismic activity. But at some point in time, it's going to happen. Some point in time, it's going to happen. Okay? We're seeing these earthquakes, and they're getting larger, and there's more of them. It's getting larger, and there's more earthquakes. Okay? Now, I checked over in San Diego. I didn't see a lot of appreciative seismic activity in San Diego. However, right before I came on the air, that changed. Over in the Anza-Borrego, Rob52 pointed this out just a while ago. This is a 3.5 earthquake in Borrego Springs, northeast San Diego County. This is in the mountainous region of San Diego County, northeast San Diego County, a 3.5 earthquake today. Okay, Borrego Springs. That happened right before we came on the air. San Diego County's getting hit as well. That earthquake was on the San Jacinto Fault. Up north of Los Angeles, north and east of LA, the San Jacinto Fault starts off at the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault can trigger earthquakes on the San Jacinto. That can trigger earthquakes on the San Jacinto Fault. It happens all day long. It happens all day long. Let's go take a look at it on the USGS map. Okay? Down here, this is right here we have the San Andreas Fault. This red line here running south is the San Andreas Fault. It comes out of Northern California, though. It starts off at the triple junction with the Cascadia, the Gorda Escarpment, and the San Andreas. It's called the triple junction, where all three earthquake faults meet. The San Andreas Fault goes all the way through California. Right here, where you see my cursor. Right here. This is the San Jacinto Fault. This is the San Jacinto Fault. It comes out of Los Angeles here, and this is Loma Linda area here. This fault comes out of Los Angeles here into San Diego County. Comes into San Diego County. The Anza-Borrego Desert State Park is right here. The Anza-Borrego Desert State Park is here. Right here. This is a 2.8 earthquake on the San Jacinto. Okay? It's up in San Jacinto, California, up near Hemet. A 2.8 earthquake. This whole area here is the San Diego and Zabrego Desert State Park, northeast San Diego County. Right here is that earthquake here. A 3.5 earthquake here in Borrego Springs. That's a lot of activity, huh? Now, I'm going to show you seismograms over here in the Imperial Valley. Right here, the Imperial Valley starts here. It starts right up here. It goes all the way down here to the Mexican border. Okay? Right here, on the northeast side of the Salton Sea, we have North Shore Salton Sea. Right here, when we show you Bombay Beach, the seismogram from Bombay Beach, it's right here. It's right here. Okay? Just so you know, this is Bombay Beach. Today, I checked the seismograph from the Salton City. Right here is Salton City. It's a ghost town. Nobody lives here at Salton City at all. It's a huge ghost town. Nobody lives here at Bombay Beach. This was a resort spa at one time back in the 50s and early 60s. It's now been abandoned. Right here, this is Calipatria. I'm going to show you a seismogram from Calipatria here. A lot of earthquakes here at Calipatria today. Right here, this is Westmoreland. This is Westmoreland. We have earthquakes here today. Okay, I want to show you this one, for example, here. This is a 1.8 tremor here in Westmoreland. Okay, but there's more than that. There's a lot more than that. Over here, right here, this is the town of Imperial. This is the town of Imperial here. This is El Centro here. This is the town of El Centro. We have a seismogram we're going to show you here from Imperial. We have a seismogram we're going to show you from El Centro. Right here we have the El Centro Naval Air Station here. The U.S. Navy has a naval station right here in El Centro, California. Right over here. Folks, this is Holtville. We're going to show you a seismogram from here in Holtville. I want you to understand where these earthquakes are coming from. That's why I'm going into this effort where these places are, so you'll understand what's going on. So let's go back and take a look at what we're going to show you here. Okay? I'm going to start off with El Centro. Okay? Look what's going on in El Centro. This has been happening for 3 months. These earthquakes have been happening for 3 months. This is a 3.3, 3.5 earthquake last night. This is 5:17 p.m. last night. A 3.0, 3.3 earthquake last night right there. Right here. This is after 5 p.m. here on the left-hand side on the black line. All the way over here is 5:12. This appears to be a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here. This again was a 3.0, 3.3 earthquake here. Okay? 5:17. Over here, it happened again. 5:12, actually 5:13 p.m. here. 3.3 earthquake. 3.3 earthquake. It happened again right here. This is a 3.03.1 earthquake here, right here. Okay? This is 7:37 p.m. 7:37 p.m. 3.3 earthquake here, and it lasted 10 to 12 seconds. It lasted 10 to 12 seconds. You see how thick this earthquake, this primary wave here is? It lasted 10 or 12 seconds. That's why you see this thickness here. Back to back to back shaking. It also had a secondary wave. The secondary wave came all the way over here. If that earthquake happened at 7:37 p.m., and we're still seeing some shaking here, right here, at 3:44 and 50 seconds here, guess what? This again was at least a 3.3, 3.5 earthquake. El Centro, California. One of our own EMA family members, Juanito, lives here in El Centro. He has felt these quakes. This is a 3.3 earthquake here. This is a 3.3 earthquake here. This is a 3.0 earthquake here. 3.3 earthquake here. 3.0 here. 3.0 here. 3.3 earthquake here. 3.0, 3.9 are considered to be small magnitude earthquakes, but they continue to shake. Every time these 3.0 earthquakes happen, people feel them. People feel the shaking. Anything above 3.0, people are going to feel. Look at all these 3.0s here. 3.0s to mid 3.5s. All over El Centro. Literally all over El Centro, guys. The Imperial Valley is also shaking. The Imperial Valley is also shaking. Folks, why is it shaking here? The San Jacinto Fault. The San Jacinto Fault. Unreal, huh? Unreal. Now, the town of Imperial, just northeast of El Centro. Okay, Imperial. For the most part, all this is just tremor activity. Just tremor activity. However, we do have activity here. This is a 2.0 earthquake. This is a 2.0 earthquake. These are 1.8, 1.9 tremors here. 2.0 earthquake, 2.0 earthquake, 2.0 earthquake, 2.0 earthquake here. Tremor activity here. So we're seeing tremors and minor earthquakes here in the town of Imperial. Last week we saw 3.0 earthquakes hitting here in the town of Imperial. So things calmed down somewhat. Things have calmed down here in the town of Imperial. Let's keep going here. I think it's going to get interesting, guys. I think things are going to get very interesting. Let's keep going here. Let's go over to the northeast side of Salton Sea. North Shore Salton Sea is next. Here at North Shore, we're seeing nothing but tremors. All this is tremors. You can see where the tremors get larger here, though. This is nothing new. Yes, it basically stays the same size of tremors as here. 1.1, 1.3 tremors, and that's just about it. Yes, we're seeing larger tremors here. Larger tremors here. This is 12:30 a.m. here. Long duration tremor activity here. Long duration here. Long duration here. Long duration here. Long duration here. All this is long duration tremors, including this after 4 a.m. here. Okay, long duration tremor activity. Minor tremors. Doesn't mean nothing is going to happen. Yes, we have had earthquakes here in North Shore, at North Shore. But these are all tremors here. It's also at the San Andreas Fault. North Shore is at the San Andreas Fault. Now, since we're on that side of the Salton Sea, let's go over to Bombay Beach. Look what's happening at Bombay Beach. Earthquakes, guys. Look at this. This is cut off at the top and appears to be cut off at the bottom. 3.0 earthquakes here. 3.0 earthquakes here. This is after 5 p.m. yesterday evening. It started after 5:07 and it continued to 5:08. All this area here, these are earthquakes. Small earthquake activity here, small earthquake activity here. This is different here. This is completely different here. Okay? This is 3.5 to 4.0 earthquake here. 3.5 to 4.0 earthquake activity here. 4.0 is considered to be a moderate earthquake. Okay? Bombay Beach. Look at this. 3.0 earthquakes, 3.0 earthquakes, 3.0 earthquakes here. This is less than this. These are minor earthquakes here. These are minor earthquakes here. Minor earthquakes are anywhere from 2.0 to 2.9. That's what we're seeing here. Here it gets a little bit different. 2.8 to 3.0 activity here, and this is after 1:30. 1:30 here, this is 1:03 here with tremors here at 1:04 a.m. here. All of a sudden we get 2.2, 2.3 earthquake here, and then it builds into large earthquake here with the 3.0. Okay? This is minor earthquake activity here. This is 3.0 earthquake activity here. 3.0 earthquake activity here. This is 3:37 a.m. here. 3:37 a.m. here. 3:39 a.m. here. Okay? Bombay Beach. This is every day. This happens every day. Every day. This is nothing new. That is nothing new here. Now I'm going to take you further south, also on the San Andreas Fault in the Imperial Valley. I'm going over Holtville now. Holtville, California, in the Imperial Valley. Guess what? We have a 2.0 earthquake here. This is all tremor activity. 2.0 small minor earthquake here. 2.0 minor earthquake here. This is 6 p.m. here. This is 6:04 p.m. here. This is different. This is a 3.0 earthquake here. This is 6:11 p.m. last night. 3.0 earthquake here. It was short-lived. It lasted maybe a second or two. But still a small earthquake right here. All these are tremors here with an occasional minor earthquake here. For example, this is a 2.4, 2.5 earthquake here. So minor earthquakes and tremors except for right there, where we have a 3.0 here. This is a Salton Sea Desert Research Station in Holtville, California. This is also on the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault goes down the east side of the Salton Sea, and it gets to the southern end of the Salton Sea, and it cuts westward until it gets to the center of the Salton Sea, and then it goes straight south through the Imperial Valley. Okay? That's one of the reasons we see all this earthquake activity, as the San Andreas Fault cuts through the Imperial Valley. That's why we're seeing that. Do any of you have any questions about what we're showing you here? Ed Brookshire is asking, does the moon have anything to do with these earthquakes? Yes, it does. It absolutely does. Now, let me bring this back here. Now, yes, the moon has something to do with this. The moon's closeness to the Earth regulates tides at sea, right? The closer to the Earth that we have with the moon, it regulates our tides going in and out. It also causes electromagnetic radiation to heat up the plates, to heat up the earthquake faults. Okay? Whenever we have planetary alignments, it increases the electromagnetic energy, which is radiation coming from those planetary alignments. Okay? The planetary alignments regulate our earthquakes. That's why we have earthquakes. Now, last night I told you about a huge coronal mass ejection at the sun. It was an X-class 4.2. An X-class 4.2. It happened 3 days ago. Now, as of today, that plasma radiation has made it to the Earth. Prior to that, we had X-ray radiation. Now the plasma radiation has gotten here to the Earth, and it's hitting the Earth. We're going to continue seeing auroras at the south and the north poles of the Earth. But that X-class flare has also heated up the poles, heated up the plates, heated up the earthquake faults. When that happens, that plasma radiation heats up the faults, the plates. Let's take, for instance, this. Let's look at the faults just off the coast of California and Washington and Oregon. Down there we have the plates going like this. Okay? The Pacific plate is subducting under the North American plate, under the North American continent, Canada and the United States. It's taking a deep dive underneath the United States and Canada. What is holding those plates in place? All kinds of dirt, junk, biological materials, sand, all kinds of things. It's holding those plates in place. What happens when all that plasma radiation heats up that area? It turns all that gunk and grime into an oily, greasy substance and allows those plates to more freely move. That's what we're seeing here. That is exactly what we're seeing here on the San Andreas. That's exactly what we're seeing on the Cascadia. That's exactly what we're seeing up and down the entire west coast of North America. Okay? That's what happens. Now, Prism Omega here, and yes, I've abbreviated his name. Monier's Wrath is his normal name. He changed his name here. He's talking about used to be pressurized natural gas. There is methane gas also released from all that gunk and grime at the sea floor. When it's over on land, such as the San Andreas Fault and other faults as the San Jacinto and such, it releases natural gas that releases methane as well. Every fault releases toxic gases. It depends on the concentration of those gases, though. Usually it's not dangerous. Usually that release of gas is not dangerous. But these earthquakes do release gas. They release radon from the ground. Radon. Okay? Sweet Polly Purebred just gave us another $5 super chat. Ron, what would you say to family and friends living on the Pacific Coast as to what is happening? And the advice, yes. I'm not going to ask you to move. I will never tell you to move. But if you see what's going on yourself, what would you do? Would you stay knowing we're going to have a good-sized earthquake that could hurt people, that could change people's lives? Okay, I'm not going to tell you to move, but that's a suggestion. I will never tell you what to do. That has to be an individual decision. That has to be an individual decision. That's a great question, though. Kathy Payan just previous to that said lubricated fault line. That's exactly what it is. Because all that planetary radiation, that electromagnetic frequency radiation, and the solar radiation from the sun heats up the plates, heats up the fault lines. It lubricates it. Turns all that gunk and grime into an oily, greasy substance that allows the plates and the faults to more freely move. Juby Joe says, so we know oceans are experiencing release of natural resources. Yes. Yeah. The oceans are experiencing a natural release of natural resources. It's natural. Ed Brookshire said this, it's almost the risk you take to be a human. There are millions of people living along the coastline in North America, and Canada for that matter. Millions of people. I have friends living over on Vancouver Island. They have built their own house over there. They have built their own house. They're living off the land. They're completely off grid. What happens when the Cascadia megathrust earthquake happens? They know. I've spoken to them about that. But again, I'm not going to tell anybody to move. It's a personal decision that each person has to make. Are they going to move, or are they going to have to deal with the quake, the shaking, the destruction, the loss of life? Lawrence Burton says, no one's telling the truth. You're right. If our government can't tell us the truth, nobody's going to. I'm telling the truth. I'm showing you what's going on. Why am I going to such an effort to show you what's going on? Because I believe it's a moral thing. It's a moral effort to tell people what's happening. If I don't do it, who will? We know the government is not going to tell President Trump about exactly what happened with the Secret Service this past Saturday. They could have stopped that shooting before it even happened. Did they? Somebody got killed. 3 people, including the former president, were injured. They are not telling the truth at all. They are refusing to tell the truth, guys. They are absolutely refusing to tell the truth. For whatever reason. Folks, I'm telling you, I'm discouraged with our government. But who elected them? We did. Supposedly. Supposedly. None of it had to happen. I believe the Biden administration opened up Trump to be hurt or killed. That's my personal observation. It's based on fact. It's based on fact. You guys have any other questions for me? I'm here for you guys. My whole premise with this channel was being here for you guys. To make sure we gave you the information. To make sure you could make decisions. Giving you information on the earthquakes, giving you information about the dangers that are here, and giving you information on how you can be prepared. That's why we come on the air. I have no other reason to do it but to help all of you. Okay? Sweet Polly Purebred just made a great observation here in the chat. She's pretty disillusioned with the entire government at this point. Red, blue, and pink. I totally agree. The red and blue are so obscured. They do the same thing in the same manner. Some people call themselves more conservative. Others are more liberal, but they do the same thing. They don't really do anything to stop the other party from what they're doing. They're in the same boat. My advice to anybody during this next election, it's up to us to turn it around. We've seen people take over offices here in the United States and Canada. People we thought were good people. Did they change anything? No. After a short while, they fell into the same boat. Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is a good example. Yes, he keeps fighting the good fight. But he is not the only person there. There's another gentleman over in Florida. He's fought the good fight, but guess what? He's turned more liberal there. He's what I call a rhino, Republican in name only. Okay? I hate doing that because I thought he was a good person. But he has fallen into the same boat as the liberals have. Richard Smith says he wishes he was here in the United States so he could vote for Trump. I'm voting for Trump. I am. Trump is the lesser of two evils. Trump is the lesser of two evils, and President Trump showed us who he is. President Trump showed us who he is, and he still does. My big thing right now with President Trump, it's a positive thing. After he had been shot, after the Secret Service had brought him back to his feet, he is 77 years old. Older people, when they get down on the floor like that, they have a harder time getting up. On Saturday, and you all have seen this, on Saturday, you saw all that political bunting, the red, white, and blue bunting at the bottom of the stage. Guess what was behind that? Heavy-duty steel. 3 to 4 inches of heavy-duty steel. Why did President Trump drop down? Because every rally he ever goes to, they protect him with that steel. All he has to do is drop down to that steel level, and he's going to be protected. And then the Secret Service is going to come in from all sides to help also to protect him. Okay? But I believe that this government is going to go after him again. The government went after him this time. But they will never publish the fact that this government went after him. That 20-year-old man had other people involved. He had to have other people involved to do what he did. Too many things were happening. Too many things were happening. to have him be the only one involved. I just don't believe that. Okay? I just don't believe that. Ed Mattel says the Pacific Northwest natives speak of the coast sinking into the sea for miles, and the volcanoes born or erupted at the same time. Okay? It happens. Over 300 years ago, 325 years ago, or actually 334 years ago, the last time the Cascadia megathrust earthquake hit, there was a mariner out to sea. He knew, that mariner knew that after that earthquake he saw Glacier Peak and or Mount Rainier erupting. It's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. Munir's Ralph is saying he finds it hard to believe that a kid can walk around with a 20-foot extension ladder and armament on his person during a presidential campaign. That 20-year-old person had his AR-15 in a case on his back, climbing a ladder, and a backpack attached to his back also with ammunition. He reached the summit of the roof. Then he started unpacking his AR-15. People saw him doing this. They reported it to the police. A police officer also scaled that ladder and saw him. He came down that ladder and put out a call that there was a person on top of that roof. The Secret Service had access to the police radios. And I will bet you this, because every time we have a major incident of any kind, it doesn't matter whether it's the RNC convention, the Democrat convention, or any other major event, the police and all responding agencies operate on one frequency. It's called claymores. They operate on the same frequency, radio frequency, so they hear each other's talk. The Secret Service knew about that kid on the roof. And that police officer I talked about last night was told not to do anything. And as soon as he saw a round get clipped off, he opened fire on that kid and took him out. He violated Secret Service protocol. That officer was an officer from Butler County, Pennsylvania. Because he violated Secret Service protocol, they arrested him. And the FBI questioned him for over an hour. And after an hour, they released him. But meantime, he lost his job for violating protocol with the Secret Service. What a way to go. You lose your job for saving the president's life. You lose your job for doing the right thing. Yes, that officer can get hired by almost any other department, because they're going to know, those departments are going to know that man is a good man. Yes, he violated protocols that have been set up. Will he violate them again? Probably. In order that he does the right thing. Okay? That's where we're at. Arnold Smith says this kid was groomed for months. BlackRock, he appeared in a BlackRock video. BlackRock is a non-governmental organization that does work for the government. That kid appeared in a BlackRock video. He was groomed for this position. He knew what he was in for. He knew that he was going to be killed for doing what he did. Okay? Juby Joe is asking, what side am I on? I'm on the right moral side. I don't believe any person should open fire on a presidential candidate, let alone the President of the United States. It's wrong. It's morally wrong. And that kid also killed a civilian, a retired fire chief, and injured 2 other people besides Donald Trump, seriously injuring them. Unreal. Unreal. I will always be on the right side. And it might not be the right side politically even, but I will always be on the moral side of everything. That is the way my parents raised me. Lewis says it looked totally fake to him. Yeah, pretty much did. Pretty much did. Any other questions for me? I did not mind going off topic here from earthquakes. We started off talking about what happened Saturday at the beginning of this program because I wanted to answer questions. I got back to it now. Juby Joe says it was a general question for the people. I agree. Thank you for that, Juby Joe. I appreciate it. Linda Covington says black or brainwashed Havana syndrome. Yeah, pretty much. Ed Brookshire says it's the right moral side. It's an excellent way to answer the question. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, guys, if you don't have any other questions, I want to leave you with a thought. I do this every night at the end of this program. Now, I'm going over to the scriptures again for this thought. The scriptures this time are in 1 Thessalonians. This time it's in chapter 5. Chapter 5, verse 23. 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 23. And the very God of peace sanctify you wholly. And I pray God your Holy Spirit, I pray God your whole spirit and soul and body be preserved blameless until the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. That's my thought for you. This is my thought for you. That God will bless you and heal your spirit and hold you blameless for doing the right thing and for the right reasons at the right time. To be preserved blameless until we have the coming of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Ed Brookshire says, what's going on the new matter fault look like? I will show you the new matter fault tomorrow night. I will give you more information about the new matter fault in the East Coast tomorrow night. It's moving. Nothing's changed. The new matter fault is moving. USGS is not talking about it. Rarely do they ever talk about it. Yes, USGS sometimes throws a tremor or a minor earthquake up. But that's all. One item does not give the truth. You have to look at the whole pie. You have to look at the whole pie. Arnold Smith says 2 types of laws, God's laws and man's laws. One is fixed and unlovable, and man's laws are variable. Pretty much. Pretty much. But I'm going this way. God told us to love each other. God told us to love each other as He loves us. That's unmovable for me. That's unmovable for me. My kid's mother-in-law. Actually not mother-in-law, my kid's stepmother hates my kids. Hates our kids. Sad. Carol and I are now working to try to get her kids here. We're at least going to get her autistic son here. She's got a severely autistic son, and we're working to get him here first. Then her daughter and other sons. We're going to do our best. We are family. You help your family. You help your family. That is what God has asked us to do, is help our family and bless our family members' lives. This is where I'm at. Yes, these kids are technically my stepkids, but I don't look at that in that way. These kids might be my wife's kids, but they're my kids, and they respect me as their father. Their own father hasn't stepped up to the plate, but I have. All God is asking us to do is to step up to the plate and take responsibility for our families. Linda Covington says it's a package deal. Kathy says, yes, we are family. Yes, that's why I'm here, Kathy, and everybody, is because you and I, all of us, are family. Yes, we are part of God's children. We are all Heavenly Father's kids. We are all Heavenly Father's kids. We came to earth here to find Jesus Christ and then live the commandments so that we might be able to return to Him. I'm doing that for my kids. I'm trying to set the example for them so they, when they get married, will marry good men and good women. And they might emulate their mother and I. We came here for a reason. We came here to learn. And then learn how to get back to the Savior. We're here for a reason. Brothers and sisters, I love you, just as I love our Savior. I love you. I started this channel for that reason, because I love you. I didn't start this channel just to talk about earthquakes. Yes, that's how I started. But there was so much more. There are so many things that are happening. I'm trying to save lives, including President Trump's. If I can do that, I will have succeeded. I'm giving you any information that I can possibly get hold of to help save our lives, help put us on a greater path. Sage Pup, my buddy Sage Pup is here. He says, we are one. Then at the end of the chat right now, he says, thank you, Ron, mods and the EMA family. I want to tell you something. When I was battling cancer and I still had cancer, Sage Pup came up out of his own pocket and sent me CBD to help me recover from cancer. And guess what? It's worked. It's worked. So I'm very thankful that Sage Pup was able to help me. I am very thankful for each one of you helping me and my family. You and each one of you have dug deep into your pockets to help my family financially. And for that, I'm very grateful. I continue here because I love you. I will continue here until I can't do it anymore. Hopefully that won't happen. But I have always been here for you, and I always will be. You can take that to the bank. I care. I hope you all have a great night and a better tomorrow. Like I said, we are here for each other. And I will forever be here for you. God be with you. God bless you. God be with you until we meet again. If anything else happens tonight, we'll be back here on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. We will be back on the air sometime after 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. I try to get as close to 6 p.m. as I possibly can. Tonight it was nearly 7. Sorry about that. My wife fixed me a fish and chips dinner, and I actually had a baked potato that my wife fixed for me. That's the biggest reason I was a little bit late. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side, brothers and sisters. I love you very much. Have a good one. See you soon. Bye. Linda Covington says, having a broadcast costs big bucks. Yes, it does. I didn't think it would be when I first started 5.5 years ago, over 5.5 years ago, but it is. It takes money, unfortunately. Thank you all for helping us. We love you. We'll see you soon. God bless.